Over the past several months, there have been daily destructive riots in several American cities. Under the cover of peaceful protests, violent extremists have destroyed the property and lives of our fellow citizens. One thing is clear, these extremists are organized groups like Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Despite clear evidence you see here, prominent Democrats in Congress and their presidential candidate have denied the violence and claimed groups like Antifa are a myth or just an idea.
True. There's violence across the whole country. Do you disavow the violence from Antifa? That's happening in Portland right now? There's riots.
That's a myth.
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Started with destroying property, converted peaceful protests into riots, and spreading hate. Then it escalated to deadly attacks on police officers and other citizens caught in the carnage. It's a heartless political calculation that Democratic leaders have refused to identify the evil of Antifa and have done practically nothing to stop the violence and destruction. Look at all the cities that have seen sustained violence over the last few months. Nearly every single one of them is run by Democrats, and that includes their police commissioners and police chiefs. Instead of taking this seriously, leaders on the left continue to deny this violence and completely deny the threats posed by groups like Antifa.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
Instead of taking this seriously, they have called to defund, dismantle, and destroy our law enforcement. In these communities, senseless violence and fiery riots have replaced security and prosperity. Gangs and organized crime have replaced law enforcement. Chaos has replaced peace, and the country we have fought to protect has become unrecognizable. Democrats' inaction has turned once thriving cities into near wastelands of boarded up and burned out buildings. Democrats' failure to condemn the defund the police ideology has opened cities to violent Antifa groups to burn and terrorize neighborhoods. So we must ask ourselves, who is responsible for this violence? Though the media will suggest otherwise, it is not President Trump who has deployed additional resources to protect citizens and federal property. It's not Attorney General Barr, who some of my colleagues in the House even suggest we impeach because he has faithfully executed the laws of the United States. It's time for all of us to hold Democrats responsible for their effects of their failed policies and dishonest rhetoric. And more importantly, it's time for all of us to hold groups like Antifa and Black Lives Matter responsible for the organized violence we continue to see. Our government has a fundamental duty to protect its citizens, and if leaders on the left cannot fulfill this basic function, then it's clear that they are unable to lead.